Imagine taking a crumbling, 200-year-old stone house that's been abandoned for decades, and turning it into your dream mansion, the kind of transformation that stops people in their tracks. That's exactly what Sally and her husband did. They bought an 1820s stone house for next to nothing, a home that was falling apart, filled with mold, and stuffed with junk. But instead of seeing a disaster, they saw potential. And over 2.5 years of grueling work, they made it happen, step by step, turning the ruin into a home that everyone now wants to see. From the outside, the house still radiates history, with 1820 proudly etched into the stone above the door. But inside, it was a mess. Garbage piled high, rotting floors, and an air of decay. As they explored, they found a basement entrance but skipped it for now. There was too much to tackle upstairs. The ground floor was massive, but it would need a complete overhaul. Still, for Sally and her husband, it was worth every bit of effort. They scored 7,000 square meters of land along with the house, a vast blank canvas ready for their dream garden. With visions of what it could become, they rolled up their sleeves and got to work. Every day was a new challenge. Floors were ripped out, foundations were dug, and modern tools became their best friend, saving them hours of backbreaking work. But even then, it wasn't easy. The amount of soil they had to move just to start was daunting. Sally and her husband became a team, with him digging and her hauling away soil. They brought in cement mixers powered by generators and started fortifying the crumbling foundation, carefully laying bricks and reinforcing walls that were at risk of collapse. And as if the universe wanted to test their resolve, heavy rain poured down, but miraculously, the inside stayed dry. It was the first sign that their work was paying off. Brick by brick, wall by wall, they watched their dream take shape. Sally's husband meticulously planned every detail. When the ground wasn't sturdy enough, he reinforced it with sand, stone, and concrete to make sure it could support the weight of the house. They applied waterproofing and installed steel frameworks for extra stability. Piece by piece, they built something strong and lasting, a house that could stand for another 200 years. In between the intense renovation sessions, Sally would take breaks by working on smaller projects, cutting wood or walking the 7,000 square meters of their future garden. Owning a whole mountainside gave them endless possibilities. They dreamed of creating a fruit and vegetable garden so they could enjoy fresh produce even in the dead of winter. The real magic of this renovation wasn't just the physical transformation of the house, it was the sense of purpose and adventure that carried them through each challenge. Sally and her husband weren't just restoring an old building, they were breathing life into a forgotten piece of history. With every stone they laid, every floorboard they replaced, they were connecting the past to their future. The 7,000 square meters of land surrounding their home was no longer just a plot of grass, it was their playground for creativity, a space where they could build, grow, and cultivate their new life. Their journey wasn't without its moments of doubt. There were times when the enormity of the project felt overwhelming, especially during harsh weather or when structural problems seemed never-ending. But Sally and her husband embraced the challenge. They turned every obstacle into an opportunity to improve their home even more. When the roof needed replacing, they didn't just patch it up, they built it to withstand the elements for another century. When the walls threatened to collapse, they didn't just reinforce them, they fortified the entire foundation, ensuring the house would stand strong for generations. The couple's vision extended beyond the structure itself. With the house nearly complete, they set their sights on transforming the surrounding land into a lush garden and orchard, dreaming of fresh vegetables and fruit trees that would provide sustenance year-round. Sally envisioned long summer days spent harvesting their own produce, while her husband imagined winter nights by the fire, knowing they were completely self-sufficient. They even planned to install solar panels and rainwater collection systems, determined to live sustainably and in harmony with nature. As the final touches were made, insulation installed, windows polished, and the last coat of paint applied, they stood back to admire what they had built. The transformation was nothing short of miraculous. The old stone house, once forgotten and left to decay, was now a beacon of possibility. It was more than just a home, it was a testament to their hard work, resilience, and unwavering belief in what could be achieved. Sally and her husband weren't just homeowners, they were creators of a dream, and they were ready to live it fully. Now, every room, every piece of land, reflected their love, their determination, and their ability to turn an impossible task into a breathtaking reality. Over the course of 2.5 years, their journey became more than just about building a house. It became a life project that embodied their grit, creativity, and unwavering bond as a couple. As the seasons changed and they adapted to the harsh conditions of nature, they also learned to build not just a home but an entire lifestyle, one centered on sustainability, self-reliance, and the joy of creating something with their own hands. Even as they approached the end of the renovation, they kept adding new dreams to their list. The attic, initially planned for storage, would now be transformed into a cozy loft with skylights that invited sunlight and starlight alike. They envisioned spending their nights there, gazing up at the stars or basking in the warm glow of daylight during the winters. Every corner of their house now had a purpose, every space designed to maximize comfort, sustainability, and beauty. And after all the hard work, there's one thing Sally and her husband know for sure: this is more than a house, it's a labor of love, and it's the place they'll cherish for the rest of their lives. They turned their vision into reality, and it has become their own sanctuary, their piece of history, and the home where they will create endless new memories. As the renovation journey of Sally and her husband came to an end, their focus shifted from building their dream home to something even more meaningful, creating a space where they could not only live in harmony with nature but also share it with others. The home they had so carefully restored became a symbol of resilience, sustainability, and the rewards of hard work. But now, they wanted to go beyond personal satisfaction and turn their home into a haven for family, friends, and visitors, a place that would inspire others to embrace the beauty of simplicity, self-sufficiency, and intentional living. Their 7,000 square meters of land were no longer just for their personal garden. They envisioned it as a communal space where loved ones could gather, work on small projects, and even grow their own produce. They transformed part of the property into a large vegetable and fruit garden, inviting friends and neighbors to come and help, learn, and share in the bounty of the land. It became a place where people could reconnect with nature, learning about organic farming, sustainable living, and how to grow their own food, even in the midst of modern life's demands. The couple started hosting weekend workshops and gatherings, teaching visitors how to cultivate their own gardens, compost, and live with a lower environmental impact. Their home became a living example of how you can live off the land without sacrificing comfort or style. Sally, ever the planner, set up cozy outdoor spaces where visitors could sit by the fire pit, watch the sunset, or enjoy homegrown meals from the garden. The space that was once overgrown and untamed was now alive with purpose, buzzing with activity, and full of joy. Their home also became a place of healing and support. Recognizing that many people were overwhelmed by the fast pace of modern life, Sally and her husband opened their doors to those in need of a peaceful retreat. The couple began offering informal retreats, where people could come to disconnect from the digital world and reconnect with themselves and nature. They provided fresh, home-cooked meals, offered a simple but cozy guest room, and encouraged visitors to engage in the daily activities of their sustainable lifestyle. Whether it was helping with the garden, learning basic carpentry, or simply enjoying the quiet serenity of the mountain, their home became a sanctuary for anyone who needed a break from the chaos of everyday life. But their support didn't stop with individuals, they also wanted to give back to the community. Sally and her husband began offering their space for local events, from farm-to-table dinners to sustainability fairs. They partnered with local artisans, chefs, and farmers to host gatherings that educated people on topics like organic farming, eco-friendly construction, and renewable energy. Their home became a hub for exchanging ideas and supporting local initiatives, all while strengthening the bond within their community. As word spread about the couple's inspiring lifestyle, they were often approached by others seeking advice on how to begin their own journeys of self-sufficiency and sustainability. They never hesitated to offer their knowledge and experience, helping others design and build their own eco-friendly homes. Whether it was sharing architectural plans, offering tips on growing vegetables, or advising on how to install solar panels, Sally and her husband became a source of guidance and support for those looking to make a similar change in their own lives. Through it all, they remained humble. For them, the joy was not in the praise or admiration they received, but in knowing they had built something lasting and meaningful, something that could uplift others and inspire change. Their home had evolved from a personal project into a beacon of hope and empowerment for anyone looking to simplify their life, reconnect with nature, or live more sustainably. As seasons passed, Sally and her husband continued to innovate, always thinking of new ways to support others. They began creating a series of online guides and tutorials, helping people across the world adopt a similar lifestyle. Their story became a testament to how a simple idea, a desire to restore an old home, can grow into something much greater. What began as a personal journey of renovation had blossomed into a movement of support, connection, and empowerment. The couple realized that this was their true legacy, not just the beautiful home they had built, but the community they had nurtured, the knowledge they had shared, and the lives they had touched. Their story showed that sometimes the greatest transformations happen not just within walls, but in the hearts of those who are touched by the journey. And that was the greatest reward of all. In the end, Sally and her husband didn't just rebuild an old house, they created a space that became a beacon of sustainability, community, and connection. What started as a personal project turned into a shared vision of intentional living, where friends, family, and even strangers could come to learn, grow, and find peace. Their once crumbling home evolved into a hub of support, offering retreats for those seeking solace from modern life and workshops for anyone wanting to live more sustainably. The home they had lovingly restored became more than just a place to live, it became a symbol of what's possible when passion meets purpose. With each passing season, their impact on the community grew, and their story inspired others to pursue their own journeys of self-sufficiency. In transforming the land, they also transformed the lives of those around them, creating a legacy that will last far beyond the walls they rebuilt.